Live? I don't know if I'm live. I don't know. We're gonna go live. I'm gonna hit the button that says going live. So.
No, you're not live yet.
All right. So I don't know. YouTube says I'm live. I don't know. I'm taking some chances here. Hello, everybody who is listening to my voice. Welcome to yet another the Chattering Magpie PrePub discussion. I am here. It's a weird time for us to have PrePub chit chat because it's in the morning. Usually we do this in Pacific time, late afternoon. But I think it's important that we are inclusive of our friends of the Europe gang. So hello, Europe gang. Greetings to you, and also greetings to my fellow bookworms joining me here on my Discord server. Hello, peeps. You can say hello.
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 Hey.
Hello.
Happy to see you guys, and also happy to see every single person on the on the early gang. I mean, on the YouTube chat, especially want to say hello to early gang folks. I do believe that YouTube cut off the earliest comments, but let's see. We do have Patrick Elsie. Patrick is not here, unfortunately. Work has its place, apparently. Though I don't know, Patrick, how could you not drop your work to join us? What are your priorities, man? Kidding. But I do believe Alvaro, right? You were the one that
yes, I'm here.
Yes, you are there.
I had the first comment and then YouTube just nuked it. But
yeah, I know. But you know what? I saw your comment, so I see you. I hear you. You're validated. Yes, I believe you because I saw it before I went to sleep. I was basically cross-eyed with extreme exhaustion last night, you guys, but I did compulsively look at my phone and I said I wonder if somebody has said hello. Yes, that is the last thing I did before I turned off my phone was checking to see if there was early gang comments, and there was early gang comment, and I went to sleep feeling very happy, very satisfied. Life is good. Thank you, Alvaro. But also, Patrick, you are validated for, your comment is the first one that showed up. So hope you enjoy the replay. I also want to say hello to Tracy Smith, says, "Be still, my beating heart. I am getting secondhand embarrassment from Ferdinand touching her face, to both of them being alone in the hidden room." Ooh. Trust me, we're going to talk about it, you guys. We are. We have also Emails, who is in the chat with us right now. Hello, Emails. But says, "Will tune in during my lunch." Okay, no problem. And then Akihana says hello as well. And also Hakon H says, "I'm starting to see why Magpie likes this volume so much. The amount of adorable moments in such short time frame is incredible." I know, it's so good. And you guys, this is entirely new for me. Being a web novel reader, this is new stuff. This is stuff that Kazuki Sensei, she just had to write for the release of the Japanese light novel. So I am with you guys on this squeeing train. Trains go choo choo choo, while this one goes kia kia kia. No, that was so lame. But anyway, yes. Moving on. So also saying hello to Timonia DeVille. And Akihana shared their thoughts. Unfortunately, though, the live was at 1 a.m. their time. But thank you for being understanding. Yes, summer is a very busy time for your Magpie, but I'm doing my best to keep everything as not to postpone things as much as possible. And so we'll talk about all these talking points that you pointed out. Yes. Also, Luis Fernando Quiroga Gonzalez. Hello. Happy that you are also here. And Damuel says, Alvaro, you said that Damuel got dunkle dunked. Do you think he got dunkle dunked? Really?
Yes. That's the only thing that he could not propose. It doesn't have it in him. So I was feeling has to have taken him down.
All right. Do you guys believe that he got taken down? Let us know in the comments. Also continuing to say, Judith is really the only one who's always getting left behind. She is indeed, but she is being headhunted by, I think it was Batilde. So she's like, hey, why don't you become part of my sister's retainers? So, I mean, there's still hope for her future. She can become the part of Brynhild's guard knight. So, still a lot of promise for her. Though I do see the why her parents would be hesitant to let her go. So, okay, I'm going to fast forward a little bit and just to the people that are here. Okay, so you guys do believe Tarot Moon Dream says yes, he did get Dunkelfelgered. I need some I hope we get some short story or something. I don't know. I want to see it in action. But Kazuki Sensei might be like, no, you guys already got Dunkelfelger action already in a short story. I'm not treating you to another because it's not necessary. You already know how it works. So if that happens, I'm gonna require somebody to write some fanfic about it. But we don't know whether he was...
There is some Dunkelfelger action on the Hannelore side story.
Let's not talk about Hannelore.
Okay.
No Hannelore.
Okay. I keep it down.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Little Crimsy says Pokemon Ferdinand has learned cuddle. Yeah, he has learned to cuddle now, and he actually, I like that scene. Let's see, who else? So yeah, there's plenty of people who do believe that he got Dunkelfelgered. So yes. Okay, so Europe gang, welcome, and welcome to everybody who's here. Let's just delve into Bookworm, that way this live doesn't get too long. And I'm gonna shoot for, I don't know, an hour, like before. Just because I know it might get a little late for people and stuff. So let's just do this, you guys. Let's start with what happened. So the last time we had the discussion, we ended up on Ferdinand and Rozemyne's engagement ceremony. It was a very moving thing. It was amazing. We all melted into a puddle because it was so delightful and glorious. At least I did. And if you didn't, then what is wrong with you? And the second, but now we pick up from that scene after the moving, the engagement. That's such a moving romantic scene. She starts off on a rampage, you guys. What does this girl do? Like, tell me some of the things you remember about what she told her new nobles.
She said, literacy for all, even commoners. Thought they specifically discussed not to do that right away. But it's nice. She thinks that it's nice that Ferdinand had some friends to scheme with now. So
yeah,
that's nice. He's like, oh, look at this. He has some nice little friends over there to do his evil schemes with.
Yeah. To explain that, so basically, she tells what she does. The first thing that she does is explain to everybody who's listening, the audience, is like, okay, so now that that's out of the way with the engagement, now we're going to talk about who gets to go to the Archduke Conference. Remember, the people that go to the Archduke Conferences, they hold a lot of responsibility, a lot of influence about the direction of their duchy. So to be safe, she's giving registration brooches to basically her retainers and Ferdinand's retainers. Those are the ones that get to go. But she is told, or she had been told earlier about picking new retainers from a list that had already been vetted by Ferdinand, Strahl, and Versili, and Sergius. And Those people in turn will lure some, and this is quoting, lure some particularly bothersome opponents into traps, and then they would be summoned to the conference later to take up support roles. So they're going to use the conference to weed out people who are like deemed suspicious. So it's kind of like underhanded way, but it's okay. And it's not just Ferdinand who's now doing these conspiracies, like you said, Monkey Man. Now he has fellow schemers that can help him in these endeavors. Rozemyne's just like, cool, it's nice that he has friends to scheme with now. Also, let's see. Here it is. Okay. Hakun says the TLDR for this entire chapter was basically give me book. Yeah, give me the book. Anything else you guys remember?
She really tells us what she wants.
Classroom.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so hold on. Let's go to TL, then Alvaro, and then emails.
Okay.
I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but they talked about what to do with Letizia.
Oh yes, they are going to. They did talk about Letizia, about how she's going to. Rozemyne announced to the orphans, to the nobles, like all the orphans from the Lanzenave battle, we're going to put them in the temple, and they're going to do the same thing that they did back in Ehrenfest. She assures the nobles that this seemingly radical plan is really not that bad, and it's going to work out for the best. But when she includes Letizia as one of the orphans who's being sent to the orphanage, there's shock on two fronts. First of all, because they're like, what? There's a new ob. By law, Letizia should have been demoted to Archduke Candidate, but she's still going to be considered an Archduke Candidate. Interesting. The other camp was like shocked because they're like, how dare you put somebody like such somebody so important in the temple orphanage? But of course, she assures them that once she and Ferdinand finally get married, do their starbind, so it'll be in about 2 years, then Letizia will be taken into the castle once more. So things might be a little difficult for Letizia to adjust, but it's better than being executed, which there was grounds for her execution. She's the one that poisoned Ferdinand, and do remember that there was a little snippet of a scene with Eckhart, if you guys remember, when just as she had freshly poisoned Ferdinand, and Eckhart was like, "What did you do?" So at least she didn't. At least she's alive, okay, you guys. Yes, thank you for reminding us. Okay, Alvaro, you were gonna say something, please.
Yeah. She goes into full James Bond villain mode and lays out the whole plan of what she's going to do with the duchy. Like, commoners are going to get educated. Everyone has to go to the temple. Full education reform, books everywhere. And now you don't have Lanzenave, you don't have sugar, so you have to depend on my industry. So suck it.
Right. And oh gosh, I wanted to say something, but
we'll
yes,
make our own sugar.
Right.
We don't need Lanzenave to make sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, nobles have already Geebs have already been cultivating some of this stuff because they didn't like the old Ehrensbach nobles for some reason.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Why could that be?
Let me just let Emails talk, because he had something to say earlier.
Got
but
it.
yes, thank you, Neo Monkey Man. We'll talk about that soon. Okay. Emails.
Okay, so yeah, regarding as I mentioned this temple classroom. So it all boils around what sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. About DB? Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yes, Alvaro.
Yeah, and then basically the temple classroom will boil around basically the literacy rate, so that Rozemyne can have all the books that she wants. And ironically, this is where the part which I actually posted is on the chat, where Rozemyne basically left her mass fallout, which is Ferdinand's small comment. And when she goes in this rampage, this is where Sylvester basically just said, "She's your problem now." So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it.
I love that part so much because he's the one that has been wrangling the gremlin all this time since he adopted her. And then the nobles are like looking, the Arensback, or the old Arensback nobles are looking at Sylvester like, do something, she's your daughter, stop her. And he's like, you deal with her, no longer my problem. Not my gremlin, not my problem anymore. Also, speaking of which, when they are, when she's going on a rampage, I think it was Lisa or one of her retainers was like, should we stop her? And Teal, do you remember what happened there?
Basically, Rozemyne explained herself like, this is happening anyway. They might as well get used to it now.
Yeah, and even she looked like Ferdinand is grimacing, but she reminds him also like, you're the one that told me that I could do whatever I wanted to do with Arensback. I could destroy it or do what, like, you left it in my care, so don't complain now. So good on her. Yeah, she's the op. Who's gonna say no to what she wants? It's Arensback people have absolutely no choice but to be swept along in this whirlwind of literacy, books, change, and it's good for them. It'll be uncomfortable, but it'll be good for them ultimately. Anything more about these? I think I saw, let's see, who was it? Neutroni, did you want to add something to?
Yeah, the nobility, the Arensback nobility, was pretty shocked, and they were looking for Sylvester for help. That they were like, was she like this in an Ehrenfest as well?
Right. Yeah. And so that's how it's going to happen. They're just going to have to get used to it for sure. So, like, I think Neo Monkey Man had mentioned earlier, the Alexandria gate is closed, so they have to develop their own sugar, their own spices. And the trouble with this, though, is that it's not going to be an overnight thing. Ferdinand just got his laboratory, and it's going to take a while for them to find some replacements that will be viable and that they can sell. So that's why they're bringing two things from Ehrenfest. The first was the paper industry, the bookmaking industry, which will help Rozemyne to make her library city reality. And the second one was like Ehrenfest food or like recipes or stuff like that. So do you guys remember what were the objections and how she dissuaded those objections and said it'll be fine? What makes it okay?
Well,
The differences in climate.
Okay. I think I got Alvaro first.
Okay, so regarding the paper and book industry, she's saying like any duchy who tries to monopolize this is going to get deforested. So this is too big for any one duchy, and now we're going to be working together. And she makes a point to the Ehrenfest nobles, to Sylvester's retainers, that she's not stealing their industries. They're going to be cooperating here. And even the recipes, they cannot make the same recipes. They don't have the same climate. They don't have the same ingredients. So we're going to have a synergistic relationship with our duchies.
Yeah, that's basically it. Because in this new duchy, the main emphasis is going to be on fish. Remember, she loves it. This is a very tasty duchy for her, and I just can't wait. Well, I won't be able to know what kind of recipe she makes, but I'm sure that it'll be delightful and delicious. All she needs is to figure out how to make soy sauce, and maybe convince the people that miso does not smell like evil grun. And then she can maybe make some miso or something like that. I don't know. It'll take a while though.
Yeah, I was going to also say, like, Ferdinand would have a really good time experimenting with the different plants, because Arensback, or like Alexandria now, is a very tropical or just like hot duchy, while Ehrenfest is a very like wintry, like Scandinavia type weather.
Yes. So, and on top of that, well, for now, some of the plants that they brought in they have to be like grown in a greenhouse. We get that later on. Like she sees that he has already teleported plants from other places, and for now they can't be produced outside of a greenhouse. But it's still a much better climate than Ehrenfest, because it does snow in Alexandria, but the winters are not as long or as snowy compared to Ehrenfest, who has like a Lord of Winter, and I don't think there's a Lord of Winter in Alexandria. Okay, so am I forgetting anything? Anybody else remember anything else about?
Just that Hartmut closed off proceedings by having everyone pray to Lady Rozemyne.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. And do you remember anything in particular struck you?
Yeah, the Gibbs weren't doing anything. They were awkwardly looking into the nobles that were brainwashed by Hartmut.
Yeah. So Hartmut and Clarissa were able to make, quite a bit of headway with brainwashing the nobles that live mostly in the city, because that's where they've been focusing on. Maybe in the provinces when they were, dispersing mana, maybe there. But for the most part, the Gibbs that weren't at the castle to succumb to Hartmut's brainwashing, they're just like, what is this? But she says like Ehrenfest nobles reacted the same way to this, because not only do they pray, but she's so excited and so earnest in her goals about her new city that when she prays, there's a blessing that pours out. So everyone is like, what the heck? And she's like, yeah, they'll get used to it. It won't be long before they're just going to be like, it's Rozemyne. It's just another day with Rozemyne. So
just that wacky ob. What are we gonna do?
Right, yeah, an avatar of a goddess, but okay, whatever. Yeah.
I love Sylvester's dismissiveness. It's like, oh, she's your problem now. Good luck, you'll need it.
Hey,
Right.
but Ferdinand doesn't take the opportunity to pinch the cheek.
Oh, that's right.
Not pinching cheeks anymore. He instead caressed her cheek.
He is
instead of
growing up.
pinching it.
Yeah, he's growing up, and yeah, but that's a little later. For now, though, we're just gonna finish off this part with the nobles. She ends her rampage, and so afterwards they have a little talk. What does Ferdinand tell her about what she said or all the stuff that happened during her little address?
That her
She went a bit
sleeping.
Yes, her mask.
She went a bit too far.
Wait, what was it, Neutronia, please?
She went a bit too far and alienated some of her support.
Yeah, she did. And I get it. It's like whiplash almost. Like 1 minute you are living under the rule of, Georgine's family. Detland is your ob. I'm sure that just trading in one menace for another is like they don't know that she's any different than Detland. As far as they know, you guys, she doesn't seem to be any better than Detland. You guys, like, she has to prove herself in a way. Like, yeah, she reforested the Dutch, like the entire the entire duchy. Like there was a mass healing ritual. But it's still yet another young woman who is still underage or who's still very young, too young to really take over. So they, like, I know that she's better than Detland, but to them, they still need to see more proof, and they need to know what the heck is going on, because everything is changing so much, and they haven't been able to have any access to Rozemyne until now. Like, ever since she stole the foundation up to now, they have been making like a big deal about making sure that no Ehrenfest noble has access to her. So the only people they can really she has intermediaries. They have to go through her. They have to go through her attendants or Ferdinand or, oh gosh, save us, Hartmut, who is a maniac. So it stands to reason that they're still not quite. They would still be not quite feeling like relieved for being for no longer being under Detlin's leadership.
Yeah, and from the previous PrePub, there is this thing that the Letizia's faction was trying to take hostage some of Rozemyne retainers. So the thing is very shaky still. It's not a secure duchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not secure. You're right. That's why they already are having this plan to lure the baddies out. And once we finish this PrePub, there's also information about there really was reason to be suspicious, but we won't talk about that until much later. So web novel people, if you know, you know. All right. Yeah. Web novel veterans, arise, say hello. Okay, so let's see, what else happened? So he does tell her she went too far, blah, 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 but she's like, yeah, it's fine. So Rozemyne does point out that there were it seems like I went too far, but not really. There were nobles that seemed to be on board. And she credits Hartmut and Clarissa's efforts for having achieved so much. And Hartmut shyly smiles and says I could have done better because, I could have done better, but okay, I'll accept it, right? Turns out that this is when she learns that there had been, he had forced the entire city to pray together during the ancient ritual. And she's like, Ferdinand, did you know? And he's like, yeah, I had no idea. And she's like, why didn't you stop him? And he's like, well, I was with you, doing the magic circle thing, the healing ritual. And anyway, it's best that the people of her new duchy venerate her and pray to her. So, and she's like, this is wrong. She turns to her retainers and they're like, yeah, it's true. It's better than that people venerate you. So
I mean, they also said Rozemyne at the end of the blessing, the same weird blessing that
oh yeah,
that Hartmut taught the orphans. At the end of it, the entire duchy latched on Rozemyne, and she didn't mention anything about it.
Yeah, yes,
just saying that.
Even
Was this the first time Hartmut has ever acted shy and bashful?
Yes, I think it is. It's so sweet though. I don't know. I love Hartmut. So it's good to see him do his thing. And yes, you're absolutely right. I think when he added on the Lady Rozemyne at the end of the prayer, she's just like, I give up. She didn't, to the point that she didn't even mention it, didn't kick up a fuss. She just joined in the prayer. So yeah, he has successfully brainwashed her too. That's pretty admirable. All right, so let me see, what else are we going in this? So afterwards, she has to tell her it's not drop off. The Ehrenfest people have to go back home, right? So she sends her Ehrenfest family back. Anything else about some final, what she said to them, or that you want to talk about, that should be pointed out during this part?
Didn't someone say she's going to be back?
Neo Monkey Man, please.
Yeah, didn't someone say, since she's going to be back for the few... right before she goes to the Royal Academy, that she should spend some, time with Elvira, because it's probably be the last time she sees her, basically.
Yeah.
I think that was mentioned by someone.
Yeah,
forget who.
That was toward the end.
It.
Yeah. So toward the end, when she actually does teleport to Ehrenfest, that her attendants tell her, once you, after this Archduke Conference, you become an ob, you won't be able to treat your mother, like Elvira, as your family anymore. Like, things are gonna change. So yeah, make sure to use this time wisely. But yeah, that's a good one. Thank you very much. So another thing that happens was that when she sends them back, she has a short conversation with Damuel about whether he will continue to serve her or not. And what does he answer, you guys?
He intends to come back with Feline when the time comes, when Feline comes of age, and if she wants any details, she'll have to ask Feline.
Yeah. I want those details, and I hope that we get that.
Me too.
I think we are. There's no way we're not getting that story, you guys. It's like the Damuel situation has been a reoccurring joke from like part 3, volume 1, or something like that. When he revealed that he no longer has a fiance. His fiance like dumped him after the Trombay incident, and he got demoted. And from there on, all his troubles really began. So
Damuel got Dunkelfelger, didn't he?
I'm sure he did. I don't know. Like I said, this is all entirely new territory, so I don't know. And if you guys have read the Japanese one and you know, don't you dare spoil. All right. So
and Damuel has the blessing of the goddess of separation. So it's like he was never going to get married.
Now, I do believe though that the goddess of separation, he's like sad because he's like, yeah, I'm never gonna get married, like you said, because the goddess of separation took a liking to him. But the thing is that the goddess of separation is not just about like saying goodbye to like people you love and like heartbreak. She also was instrumental. Like she took a liking to him because after the Trombay incident, he wanted to become independent and try to do his best to just not be a bother to his family. So the fact that he was like trying to distance himself and just deal with his problems without bothering his brother, his family, or whatnot, that earned him that separation blessing. He was successful in becoming an independent young man. So it's not just the Brigitte situation. So don't hate too much on the goddess of separation. She did have a reason for choosing him, and it was not to make him a punchline.
Was this like confirmed in like by the author, like in an afterbook or something?
Yes, it was. I forget if it was a Twitter or a fan book, but yes, this was confirmed. Taryn says the Peru cakes got NTR'd. Aw. You know what? That's okay. That's fine. Because either way, they were bound to be separated. There's no Peru trees in Alexandria, so it was bound to happen. I think that's where the real blessing from the goddess of separation comes in. That's a real heartbreak story and the real goodbye.
Oh yeah, because Peru are a winter fruit. They only grow in the snow.
So he won't ever be able to eat them again. Sad, but true. So yeah, there's the goddess of separation for you at work. Okay. So let's see. Oh, and Tarot Moon Dream also says his troubles all started with his name being translated, or yeah, mistyped. Yeah. All right. So anything more that you guys want to get out of your chest about Damuel before we move on? Here is space, a safe space for you.
I just loved like the visual idea of just him completely getting dominated by a little girl, Feline.
And okay, you guys, here's the thing though. Hartmut was a scholar, and Clarissa was able to, dominate him, like throw him to the ground. But he was a scholar, so he didn't have the training or the reflexes to fight back or to resist her advances. But Damuel has been honing his skills for a long time now. So if Feline manages to successfully like throw him to the ground or do like a maneuver, like anything close to what Clarissa did, I'm gonna be incredibly impressed, because she's like you said, she's just like a young woman. Like she's a scholar.
I mean, Judith could have been giving her tips or something. I mean,
yeah, that's true, and Clarissa too.
Giving her all training on the side.
Martial arts.
A little pocket sand wouldn't hurt either.
What's that? I think I missed the reference. Oh no.
Pocket sand? It's literally you just have a pile of sand in your like one of your pockets,
yeah.
and you just throw it at
Yes,
someone.
blind the opponent. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Don't have to be honorable if you're not a knight.
Oh,
Correct.
You haven't sworn any kind of oath. You rogue mercenary types,
Yes,
you.
in love and war, everything goes.
Oh my goodness. All right. So all of you are bold, brave, and valiant. Good for you. I need some of that in my life. Okay. Also we get, did we talk about this here or was it later? Let me just check. We don't get do we get the conversation about Angelica here? No, not yet. We'll talk about that later. The meme came up, so I thought I should probably do it. But no, not yet. So, Ehrenfest people go back home. And now we get to tour her library because she's been so busy, she didn't even get to take a look at her library after the mass end took ground. So she's like, let's go look at the library. Books are not in yet, but the large greenhouses in Ferdinand's botanical lab, which is connected to her library, they already have plants, which she teleported. So they're, like we said earlier, they're working to end the reliance on international trade. So she does also a tour of Ferdinand's living arrangements in his lab. It's really interesting that his retainers say, like, here, Lady Rozemyne, we'll show you we'll show you his crib. Come on in. Take a look for yourself. His arrangements. I'm like, yeah, I think that's because they're engaged. Otherwise it would have been really weird. But yeah, it's just another way of them recognizing her, not just as an ob, that, this is her land, her rules, her law, but also that, you get to see like how, your fiance is setting up his things and stuff. Interesting change, honestly. And then we also get, let's see.
There is something about her mana. She wanted to do some experiments donating mana to the plants.
Oh,
and
yes.
Ferdinand says, your mana is strange. We should control this experiment.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
Yes, I found it very interesting. He's still thinking there might be some lingering after effects of the divine mana, or maybe he's trying to cover from Rozemyne mana always been weird from being a devourer or something else.
Yeah. So it's not just that she's a devourer, but she has the divine mana. Yes, emails?
Remember on, I believe, was it part 2 or before, like Rozemyne and Ferdinand wants to experiment on mana. I'm not sure if you remember that in the novel.
Yes.
So here's the chance.
Yes.
This is the chance that they've been waiting for.
Yeah. So he did say, like, in about 10 years, I want, like they said, like, trade your mana for a bunch of books or something like that. That's what she wanted. She wanted books in return, and here it is. This is like the culmination of that old promise. And of course,
wanted a library, and she got a library.
Yeah, of course the library is still empty, but she does have the books in Ehrenfest, and of course the experiment is not yet ready for her to give her mana, but it's there. Everything is set up for that, that exchange to happen. Here's some mana, give me books. So, yeah, it's another little callback.
Could it also be that he doesn't want the other researcher to realize that she's already been died?
Maybe, but I do think that it would be under. Yeah, but I also think it would be under his supervision, no? Or maybe, I don't know. But you're right. You're right. It makes sense. Because, yeah. No, it does make sense. Though the only thing that they would need to know to put 2 and 2 together is to get also a sample of his mana. So we'll see. It's a good point. That could be it. Let's see, what else do we have? So yes, thank you for reminding us about the mana plants. Like the plants in the greenhouse, they still can't grow outside of a greenhouse, but they're gonna continue to work on those plants. Now back to when they're touring Ferdinand's living arrangements in his lab. She's like, he's been doing a lot during the same time that I've been doing all these things and preparing for all these things. He still has found time to set up his lab. Like, what was he been sleeping? And Eustace assures her that compared to before he was poisoned, before, like when he was being worked to death, he is sleeping more and using fewer potions. He is also eating meals at regularly appointed hours with her. So once the conference is behind him, he's gonna see like a drastic improvement in lifestyle. And I rejoice for Ferdinand, who has always needed somebody to champion him and his well-being. And Rozemyne could have been like abusive and said like, no, you need to work and do the things. But she's like, no, like you need to rest. So yeah, you see a healthy relationship right there. Good for Ferdinand. He needs that. He really does need somebody to look out for him. Yeah.
Yeah, just a soundboard like.
Yes. Let's see, what else? I keep losing my place, you guys. Anything else that you guys remember from touring his room?
Well, a little interesting aside is that Eustace has changed the way he addresses Rozemyne. Lady Rozemyne instead of Milady.
Aw, why does he do that?
Well, because she's engaged now. It's not appropriate to call her Milady, which in Japanese is actually Hime. Which isn't one for one with princess. It can also be a young lady of very noble birth. But it's just a very unique and fancy way of addressing Rozemyne.
Yeah.
And the new way is more like distant, so
Yes.
Rozemyne felt like an emotional distance between that.
Yes,
Also-
yes.
Also, I love how Rozemyne noticed like, his place is a lot more organized now that his attendants can actually get involved with this work.
Right. Yeah, so
Yeah,
all
I
in
found
all,
that
we see
interesting.
good changes. Yes, Alvaro.
Yeah, I found that interesting because he's always been brewing in his hidden room, and now his lab is in the open.
Oh,
So there is you see the change. He's not brewing hidden in his room. He's brewing in a lab.
yeah, you're right. He always did everything in a secret place, not because that's what nobles do. Like as far as we understood, or as far as I remember, like for a long time I always thought that people just brewed in their secret rooms because that's what Ferdinand always did. But that's not the case at all. You have scholars to brew for you, and your hidden room should be just a place of rest, just a place where you can like unwind or whatever. Maybe keep a very few like precious things and stuff. But now that with all these changes in his life, everything's going in a more positive direction, things are turning more normal. Like we realize just how abnormal things were. Our common sense is slowly being like, oh, okay, so that's how it's supposed to be. Just as Rozemyne was always like being like taking things for granted about how nobility works, she's now like, we're getting like, no, this is how it works. You don't have to brew in secrecy, like fearing that somebody will tamper with your things. No, because now you have a place that's all your own, that's safe, that you can do as you wish. You have people that you can trust. And yeah, I can't emphasize this enough, you guys. It's such a good change now. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Professor Herscher has Raymond too, but Professor's room is constantly in a mess.
Oh, Herscher, yeah, she's a good person, but she's not the best mentor figure for some things.
But
I love that
Dumble's
running
room
gag.
also- Gandalf's room was also messy. The only researcher room which was tidy up was Frolarm.
Oh, yes. But we wonder if she ever got anything done, though. But she was a neat freak, as far as I remember.
That's why.
By the way, I want to say thank you to Thomas70. Thomas, thank you so much for your support. I hope you're doing well. Happy to see you here. So we have the tour of Ferdinand's complete. Now we get another very important thing happens here. She is going to, they have a conversation about Eckhart and Angelica. They are engaged again. Again, it's not for love, it's because of practical reasons. Why is it that Eckhart wants to get engaged to Angelica again? Do you guys remember?
He abhors the thought of getting engaged to anyone from Arnsbach because of what they did to Ferdinand.
Right. And Angelica?
She just didn't know how to deny just like a weak man trying to propose to her.
Yeah, proposals are already coming her way. Why? Because one, she is she's of marriageable age, she's single, ready to mingle, or at least people think, and she is also extremely close to Rozemyne, so they see her like as an easy way of getting like closer to the Ob. So yeah, she's like, I don't care, I don't want to be married to somebody weak, and this is the perfect excuse to turn him down, because she didn't know how to turn him down, right? Now, Rozemyne is a little troubled at hearing this. She's like, why are they doing this again? It should be because of love. And then Lizelita, though, she's like, may I remind you something? Do you guys remember what Lizelita said?
That you too also married for convenience rather than love.
Yes.
But I think that Lizelita is teasing her.
Yes, she is.
Because if everyone can see that they're in love from each other, just they cannot see it. It's like, aren't you married by
Oh,
convenience?
yes. Oh, for sure she's teasing her.
I love how upset Rozemyne was at being compared to Angelica.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, back to Angelica, I'm surprised she has trouble turning down people. It's like, I imagine Angelica to be the kind of person to just outright say, sorry, you're too weak for me.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe this was an archnoble. So that could also present some issues, because she has a mana of an archnoble, but she's still a mid-noble. So this could have been an archnoble.
Rogad was an arch knight.
Yeah.
And she rejected him.
Yeah, but this is again a different duchy, and I think she may want to like defer to her lady, maybe. But yeah, I do believe that she would have been like, marriage? What is marriage? Or done something stupid like that to to fend off such a proposal. So yeah, she could have been
that would attract a different kind of person.
And we all know that Angelica's true love is Stenluke.
Yes, of course. Nobody can compete with Stenluke. Especially since Stenluke has Ferdinand's voice. Like, come on. That's an amazing... well, never mind. Okay, so imagine him crooning Sweet Nothings. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. All right, let's move on. So... Again, Lizelita teases her because she's like, well, are you not getting engaged for the same reasons? Rozemyne thinks that this is different, like what she and Ferdinand is different. And she didn't decide on it so carelessly. But, of course, she only just wants to be family with him. So we're still like, Rozemyne, it's love. Okay, But it's okay. It's okay. No, you don't have to like come to a conclusion yet. Maybe one day, but still, it's different, Rozemyne. You have to admit it at some point.
They'll be like 80 years old and have like kids and grandkids, and Rozemyne will turn to Ferdinand and say, "Ferdinand, I think I'm in love with you."
There is a beautiful 3-part fan fiction about Rozemyne realizing she's in love with Ferdinand.
Ooh.
I'll figure out what the name is. It came up like a week or two ago, and she in the fan fiction she goes to talk to Effa about it.
Oh,
and
yes.
Again, I think it's just beautiful. It's the most beautiful. I'll find it out and I'll write it in the chat or tell you later.
Yeah. Put it in the
Caring
chat
is caring.
or
Put it in the Discord.
Need it. And if
I put it on the Discord.
And if it's a short one, so much the better, because I haven't been able to delve into long ones. So send it to me.
Yeah, it's a 3-part one and done, and the thing is beautiful.
Okay, I need to see it. I need it. All right. So thank you. Okay. So she
Doing
does...
that, everyone.
Yeah. So they cross on over the sky bridge to the library. It's empty, but still impressive. So impressive that she can't help but give a blessing. And they talk about some of the things about her library that it will have. It already has like magic tools. It has for like time. So they already have lots of things planned, but including security shoe mills to drive away those who would cause trouble or who would try to steal, and also assistant shoe mills to help people find books. And she already gave them books. Do you guys remember what kind of names they were?
Opak and
Kensaku and Opak.
Mm-hmm.
Opak and something with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Kensaku.
Anybody knows what those are?
I think they're SQL terms for a library system.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Kensaku is to look something up in Japanese.
But they were named after real life people.
So OPAC is the online public access catalog. It's the little short for that. It's basically like if you go to any computer and like any library, it's a database that catalogs the sources, materials available at your library. So she called it OPAC. pretty cute. And then we have like Teal said Kensaku, which in Japanese means search or retrieval. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then they, of course, Ferdinand is like, those are horrible sounding words. Those names, I don't recognize them, and they're ugly names. We're like, well,
he said they sound foreign.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which is not wrong.
Not wrong. But it's her library, her rules. You're gonna have to put up with it. You'll get used to it in time, Ferdinand.
And I've got weirded out by the name Alexandria.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful name. What are you talking about? And then finally we get somebody. Who was it that mentioned about the guard bunnies? Somebody mentioned something about guard bunnies.
I think Lisa Letta said to make them less lethal.
Probably Clarissa.
Oh. Whatever female
if
attendants.
Even Clarissa thinks they're too lethal. You've gone too far.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen how they butchered like around the temple?
Oh my gosh, they have like this scythe and oh my goodness, yeah. Probably it'd be for the best if they didn't absolutely murder whoever tries to steal a book. I mean, you don't want to get the books stained with blood. Yeah, you really don't want to get books stained with blood. I think Rozemyne would be like, okay, that person can die. Just don't mess up my books, okay? She's that kind of person, I think. And so they cross on over to see the librarian's rooms. Rozemyne tours the room that will be hers, and she plans out what furniture she needs. And then there's a little talk that I thought that it was kind of cute. She says that she will need a desk and a chair for when she reads and a sofa to lounge on. Okay, you guys, here's where I have a little bit of a gripe, you guys, because back when you guys remember the furniture talk when she compared Ferdinand to a chair, a bench. I was outraged. I was absolutely outraged because it should have been a sofa, like a soft place where she could rest in. If they had kept sofa, then if she says here that all she needs is a desk and a chair and a sofa to lounge on, it would have been beautifully symbolic because that's all she needs. Ferdinand does remind her that that she also needs a bed for when she collapses from overwork or excitement. Rozemyne mumbles that a sofa would have served as the same purpose. So, I don't know, I like in my head canon, she was just saying like, all I need is a sofa and my things to read on, and that's it. So yeah.
And Ferdinand reminds her what the time he had to give her a bed.
Yes. Yeah.
With all the implications of that.
Breathing.
Yeah, right. I don't know if her do you think her attendance connected the dots as we did? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
What do you mean? Connect what dots?
Like, because when he said like, oh, remember that time where you passed out and like you needed a bed to like, because remember that time when he reminded her of when she was at the temple and she didn't have a bed after she passed out, and he talked about, I don't think though that he mentioned about giving her bedding though.
He didn't mention that he was the one.
Yeah.
All that happened while she was still nothing more than a commoner.
Wow. Yeah. So funny how things work, right?
Yeah. Before she even met Damuel, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. This was after when she was the Starbind Festival, the first time she did Star Festival at the temple with the kiddos. So another thing she does while there is he tells her to form a hidden room, and this hidden room is important because it's to keep things to her in her library. And what are these precious things, you guys?
Her family.
Her family. So here's where she registers her new hidden room, and Ferdinand is also registered to her hidden room. And after the hidden room is formed, oh my goodness, what does Ferdinand do in the presence of her older brother?
Drags her in there.
Hidden room, yeah.
Yes, he drags her in there. Cornelius, of course, protests, and but he's like, I could threaten him with a little bit of violence just to keep him quiet. She's like, no, don't do it. So I think he kind of like has a little bit of fun just teasing Cornelius. I think it's in fun, just trying to push his buttons.
Ferdinand just likes teasing in general. Just look at how he treats Sylvester.
Yeah, that's true. So he's going to be his brother now by marriage. So, by the way, I didn't say this earlier, but I want to say hello to Audrey and thank you so much for your support on the super chat. Hope that you are having a wonderful day. And let's see. So they go into her hidden room where he forms the magic circle so she can use her family. And he says like it's gonna take some time before you can go see them, because first of all they have to settle into their new home, and second you have to adjust to your new roles as an archduchess, so it might take a while, but you will be able to visit them in time. And by placing the circle in her library hidden room, he is ensuring that her connection to her family would never crumble, even if her temps ob comes to an end or circumstances requires her to leave the castle at some point. And what was Rozemyne's reaction to this? She literally says something.
You're coming with me.
Yes! Yes, she says, you're coming with me. And what did Ferdinand say to that?
I would only get in the way.
Oh, baby, no, you would never get
And
in
your
the
family,
way.
yeah, and your family would not be comfortable in the presence of a noble.
Well, her family will have to get used to him. Yes, Rozemyne, go, Rozemyne. Tell him that because you are his family, he now has a family of his own, a family that will not betray him, a family that will not see him as free labor, a family that will love him and appreciate him and be proud of him as he deserves. So heartwarming, so fluffy. It's gonna be great, you guys.
I love how he just ends it with like a smile.
Yes, and I'm actually going to read the whole thing, not the whole thing, just a little bit of the paragraph there, if you guys don't mind, just because I have to get it out of me. So she's like. Yeah. So she's like, only my noble family attended our engagement ceremony. My commoner family doesn't even know I'm engaged. I want to introduce you to them. I want to point to you and tell them that you're the man I plan to marry. She gazed up at him and then she asked him, or do you not want me to? And then there was a long silence before he said, "I would not mind." He sounded defeated, but I could see the smile playing on his lips. Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
So that's so sweet, guys. That's so sweet, you guys. Please excuse me while I melt in another puddle today. I am dying from cuteness overload, you guys.
Imagine Ferdinand just having like a beer with Gunther.
Oh, that would be fun. Imagine. I think Gunther wouldn't be the type to...
Don't spoil the next episode.
No,
the
there's
next
no. I'm not spoiling, but I don't think that, like, because Ferdinand said, like, your family will be like, what they won't feel comfortable with me around. But I think the family knows enough about him that they won't be shy, or they will, like, they already are used to, like, the idea of Ferdinand being like somebody that's important to Rozemyne. So I don't think they would be estranged. Like, again, this is not spoilers. So I'm just saying, like, based on her father, based on, like, I don't think so. But anyway, it's still sweet of him to be considerate.
Yeah, and based on the previous actions, they are really fearless. Like, they went to Besewant and said, "I will not give you my daughters." So,
yes.
So yeah, so Ferdinand has it coming. If he ever makes Rozemyne unhappy, Gunther is going to come for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could just imagine like Ferdinand being all bashful and Gunther just like, "Shut up, sit down, and have a beer. Let's talk."
Right. Yeah, I think that's important for Gunther to be important to bond with his future son-in-law. So let's see if there's anything that's going to be mentioned later on, just to avoid spoilers, I guess. Again, a lot of this book though is new to me, so I couldn't even if I wanted to. So, all right, let's go on. So after that, they go back to the castle, and it's time for her to return to Ehrenfest, as had already been discussed extensively before. So she has some homework items to complete while she's away from Alexandria. What are some of the things that she needs to do while there? Do you guys remember?
Speak with Benno.
Speak with Benno.
She needs to get the dye. She needs to get the dye for the color of the cape and the duchy, and also the crest. That's the things that need to submit it to the scent. The scent.
Yeah.
She needs to close up her hidden rooms and retire her library.
Yeah. And also Ferdinand's library needs to be cleared and returned. They have a little exchange here that I thought super cute. She doesn't want to close the library that he gave her. She wants to make it a branch of the Alexandria library. Oh, Rozemyne. And I love Ferdinand's line here. He's like, "Do you really intend to claim ownership of another duchy's property? How greedy and arrogant can one woman be?"
Not as greedy as Veronica.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Do not mention that name to me. I'm here having feel good vibes here, and you just kind of killed my buzz. Like, don't. No me la mientes, oye. All right. So, so yeah, I think that's about it. I think one other things. Anybody remember one other thing about Alexandria that she has to do?
Yes, she is not allowed to come back until the Archduke Conference is completed.
Oh, why is
Ferdinand
that?
has plans to deal with the elements in there.
Yes, he's gonna deal in his own way with those elements, and I think that's good. He did say that she has a soft spot for people who ask for help, so stuff has to happen, and she needs to be out of the duchy while that stuff happens. Of course, I don't think we'll get any of that in, like, I don't believe we may get anything of, like, a story or anything like that. If Kazuki Sensei did not want to give us a measly execution of Arno, she's not going to give us the execution of a whole bunch of nobles. So it's just going to have to reside in our imagination. Though I would love to be proved wrong. I want to see Ferdinand at his best.
Oh yeah, did we talk about like the orphanages, like, and what people, like, the other nobles thought about it?
Oh yeah, we talked about it earlier, like when she was doing her address. Yes, so do refer to I don't know, between 20 minutes into this chat for that. Yeah, Alvaro?
Yeah, I wanted to point out Rozemyne come back to Ferdinand saying, don't get rid of everything. There must be good things from old Arnsbach. And then Ferdinand say, yeah, the administration was very good.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. He did mention something about old traditions or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but he did say that their system for administration was surprisingly good, better than the one that he knew in Ehrenfest. So actually, I'm really glad, because if it's only them two dealing with a huge duchy, they'll die. So hearing that there's a good system already in place makes me feel 10 times better for their future.
Ferdinand's only compliment was bureaucracy.
Of course, he's the one that has always had to be in the trenches when it comes to bureaucracy, so he will definitely appreciate good stuff, like anything that's an improvement over what he already knows. So yeah, one final thing though that they have to that he has to do that Rozemyne has to do is, while she's in Ehrenfest, she needs to study the duchy's industries and geography. To that end, she's taking with her Letizia study materials. But what about those study materials does Ferdinand tell her?
She can't read them until she's done with her other task.
Yes. Yeah, again, they're holding books for hostage. The most important thing she has to do is make the die and the crest to send it on over as soon as possible. So yeah, smart move, Ferdinand. And Rozemyne never changes, so yeah. So
yeah, they also explain how it's come the whole duchy has exactly the same color.
Yes, and it was funny because, well, we're just gonna talk about it like right now. They mentioned, like, when she returns to Ehrenfest, she talks with Wilfried, Charlotte, and Melchior, and they're kind of like doing like a conversation about what one does with dice. And I'm like, I had never understood like how it works, but it's really interesting, you guys. We won't go into much detail about it because we're already over time. But yes, do check out like all this information about dice, how magical it is, how they use it to not have to, like, say you move from one duchy to another, you don't have to get a new cape and re-embroider it. All you have to do is just use that magical die to get a new color into your cape. So that's pretty awesome. Other stuff in there that they touched upon, but you guys can read that or whatever. So she goes. Ferdinand remains in Alexandria to, like we said before, to get rid of Alexandria's foul traditions. That's literally what he said. And they said goodbye. And what does he do like as a goodbye? Okay, here's another part where I'm like, ah!
He caresses her cheek.
Yes, he does. He strokes her cheek as a sweet farewell gesture. And Rozemyne, being Rozemyne, she's like, well, I no longer have baby fat anymore. That's why he can only just touch my cheek. She doesn't see it as the sweet gesture it really is. She's like, yay for my new appearance. I no longer have baby cheeks. And I'm like, baby fat in my cheeks. And I'm like, yay for your new appearance. You're now a grown up and you're freaking beautiful. And so, okay, we're celebrating her new appearance for totally different reasons. So just saying, Rozemyne, you precious, precious bean.
Wait, did a previous PrePub mention what the new duchy color is going to be?
Yes. Remember when Ferdinand said that the color should be the color of her hair, I believe?
Oh.
That's the last time we heard about the new color. So we just need to see if that is the color that's going to end up being.
Dark blue.
Yes. So he was saying, again, in one of those rare moments where Ferdinand is, turning on the charm dial to like 1,000, he's saying like it's sad because your hair won't stand out against the cape, and he's like, he really admires her hair apparently. So ooh. Yes. Oh my gosh, Terrence says the mental gymnastics for this denial. Yes. I love it though. I love it. Anything to not come to the conclusion that it's love. All right. So they teleport to the Royal Academy. Let's just speed run through this. They meet up with the Ehrenfest retainers. She introduces her new Orensbach retainers to the Ehrenfest ones. Damuel and Feline also are there. They receive registration brooches for Alexandria. We learned that Feline, although she'll remain in Ehrenfest, she will be serving Rozemyne during her academy days. So she has special access in spite of being still in Ehrenfest. She now has a brooch to enter the dorm. Here we get a Judith again, but we will skip her as we always do. We get an Ottilie time when she explains the reason why some parents would be really, really hesitant to send their unmarried daughters off to like some unstable duchy, because you don't know what's going to happen to them, especially because, let's say, they get engaged to a noble in another duchy. They will not be able to really vet them. They will not be able to ascertain whether it's a good person or a good match for their daughters. So that's why Ottilie is saying, you know what, I know you're not married and you don't have children, so you don't have quite that instinct to look out for like the young'uns, but you have to, like, when you're there, please pay really close attention to the futures of your female retainers that are leaving Ehrenfest to serve you. Rozemyne does ask her though if she was as worried for Hartmut as she is for the other retainers. Of course, Ottilie, being Ottilie, she has long since consigned Hartmut to whatever fate awaits him, but she does say that Hartmut is a boy and he's already engaged. She knows that he's in good hands, or at least in hands that will somebody that will understand him. And she says that he is a Lady Rozemyne supremacist. So yes. Whatever that means. What exactly did Ottilie mean by that?
He's a fanatic.
Yes. He's always saying that she's a goddess. So, yeah, he's a religious fanatic. I can see in the future Hartmut and Clarissa taking over Rozemyne's literally plan to teach the commoners to read and come and plaster the world with a shoujo manga based on part 2 and 3 and a shonen by person 4 and 5, just the story of Rozemyne.
I would love to see that. I hope that somehow she is able to convince the world that manga art is superior to any other art. But I think that's going to be an uphill battle, because I think in this world they really rely a lot on realism and detail and stuff like that. So it's not going to be very well received for now. In time, maybe in time. So again, she teleports to Ehrenfest Castle. She is received by Will, Charlotte, and Melchior. Wilfried draws attention almost immediately to her engagement Faystone, asks if she doesn't feel weird being engaged to Ferdinand. I'm like, yo, Will, do you really have to go at it in that way? And he's like, no, but don't get me wrong. I think it's a good idea that you marry somebody who can keep your rampages under control, since you're so impulsive. And I'm like, Wilfried, talking like this and just delving right into like the main topic of like, isn't it weird to be engaged to Ferdinand? Isn't that impulsive as well? Like, do you have a filter, my dude? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just laughed when I read that.
Oh shoot, hold on a second. I think I was Teal, then Alvaro, and then Kadir.
He also calls Sigiswald Prince still, which is a huge faux pas because he's now a lord of his own duchy.
Yep. Good thing they're not taking him to the Archduke Conference anytime soon.
Truly.
Yeah. Alvaro?
There was this turn of phrase that used a lot in the previous parts when it said, "Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?"
Yes, yeah, and it's basically that. I don't think it said it here, but
I didn't.
Yeah, I put it on my notes. I put it on my notes. I put Wilfried is basically a teapot calling the kettle black. I don't know if it did the summary I put in there include that. Okay. We also got Melchior is an absolute cutie. He is excited to talk about what he saw during the transference ceremony. It's such a divine spectacle of pillars and lights and statues moving atop the shrine, the crowning of the Zent. It all made a deep impact, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Rozemyne's like, that's not how I remember it. Because she was definitely going through it at that moment. That was when her mana was about to overflow. She was just having a really anxious time during the whole thing. But I'm glad that at least Melchior enjoyed it. She talks to her retainers about arranging meetings with the Gutenbergs about changes of plans. She's afraid that Benno will be furious with her about, now that she's not moving anymore to sovereignty, they're moving to another duchy. Hurrah! Be prepared to leave within, 3 months. As soon as the Archduke Conference is done. Come on, let's move. So, he would definitely give her a big earful for that. Luckily for her, though, she's now a archduchess, so he can't do that. And finally, they're going to handle the sale of her temple staff who will be joining her in her new duchy. So I was kind of like, what? Sale? But yes, let's remember, you guys, they are property. Her temple attendants, they are literal property. So in order for them to be moved from the Ehrenfest temple, she has to buy them from Ehrenfest, which is sad and off-putting, but that's the way things work in this world, you guys.
And I guess that all them together, they're going to cost as much as the Dunkelfelger translation.
Ooh. So. I imagine so. Remember when they bought Volker? What was his name?
Yeah. I think it was too large and too small.
Yeah, it was some outrageous sum. Yeah, it was some outrageous sum, you guys. So if she plans to buy, let's start with Fran, Wilma, maybe 2 attendants, Gil, at least 5. At least 5 people.
That's going to be like 11 large gold.
Yeah. So it's going to be an expenditure, but again, she has highly skilled attendants, and it could be that because, let's say, for example, Gil. It's not just any old laborer who knows how to make paper. He was working the workshop. He was supervising, so his price might just skyrocket way more than 2 large gold coins. The same for Fran, who was incredibly skilled and well-trained. Again, that's like 2 gold coins is the minimum that they will end up paying. Monica and Nicola, they know recipes, so I don't know. Yeah, something else?
Yeah, that's interesting. Like the cost of things. Like a recipe was 1 small gold coin. A new kind of a new product was like 2 large gold coins. So they are expensive.
Yeah, they are very expensive. So yeah, but I think she can handle it, you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I think she can handle that amount of money. I mean, the Dunkelfelger book, the 18 large gold coins, that was just for a hobby, you guys. A freaking hobby. That tells you the state of affairs of her coffers. She won't be hurting for this at all. So I think we basically reached the end of this.
There's one thing. Rihyarda, she calls her my lady. She made the mistake that Justus didn't.
Yeah, so actually, Rihyarda does want to call her, her proper formal name, but Rozemyne asks her, "Can you, just for old time's sake, can you just call me milady like you did before?" And then Rihyarda is like, okay, just until the Archduke Conference, and only when we're here, in private. Rihyarda is Rihyarda. She has been with Rozemyne since man, since Rozemyne moved into the castle, and she was her first head attendant, she's the granny that raised them all. So I think that she's her usual bossy self, but to Rozemyne, who has just undergone so many changes, and her status has, seesawed left and right from being just a regular Archduke Candidate to being an ob, to being an avatar of Messionora, back to being the future Archduchess. So a lot of people just hold her in great awe, but just having a Rihyarda, I think that's just her old bossy self. I think that was definitely comforting, and she needed that, I think. But we do know that there will be so much to do now that she is in Ehrenfest. And we are left in suspense because that's where the chapter ends, you guys. Did I forget anything? Please say no.
No, I think that was all.
No.
Okay.
This last chapter was really new. I think the other parts, they were mostly from the web novel. There were pieces that were new on the previous 2 chapters, but this one was quite new. And to me, it felt very short. So I wonder if the next part is going to extend this chapter, because it's supposed to be like in Ehrenfest, and like the last third of the chapter is in Ehrenfest.
Yeah, I think there might be more content. Like again, like a whole bunch of this volume is just new, and yeah, all of this content in this part was new. I had never, all I remember was in the web novel was the engagement ceremony, and then the final story. I think it was right.
No, there was engagement ceremony, and then the brooches and the telling of the plan. I just reread them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
When she's telling.
Don't go into web novel details. Don't go into web novel details.
No. What I'm saying is that
But it was the first chapter of this part.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. All right. So we have a lot to look forward to, you guys. We are only halfway through the book, or at least this marks the halfway point of the book. Still have 4 more sessions to go. That means 1 more month of PrePub chit chats. I hope that you guys join us either for the live or for the rest of, or for the rewatch. Next week I might also schedule it for the morning. Again, summer is a very busy time for me, so kind of finagling my schedule a little bit, but either way, I hope that you join us. I have always enjoyed these chats with you guys, and thank you Discord gang for joining me, and especially to those of you who are listening while it's the middle of the night, or you're listening and you're at work, or in your lunch break. I truly do appreciate you guys just tuning in. I have so much more fun when you guys are here. And again, thank you so much to Red Tempest, who made all those wonderful memes. And thank you for them. They're always high quality, good content. Thank you. Anything else you guys want to say before we end this chat?
I think for the people who have the chance to join the Discord, they should do it. I had a lot of fun having a very good conversations and I feel a bit bad for kind of waiting till the last volume to actually pull the trigger and join the community. Having a lot of fun and interesting conversations.
I'm glad you joined us at last. You have been a member for some time, but you hadn't joined yet to the Discord. So happy to see you, yes. And thank you for reminding me. I should probably plug this stuff in this channel. Gosh, I am so bad at doing this, but thank you. If you want to join us for the next couple of chats, you can just join me on my Ko-fi. If you want to get some merch, you can purchase the merch. All of the links are on, I don't know if they're in my description or they're in my bio. Just get the information there. Again, always looking forward to seeing new faces here, and happy that, just want to say a big shout out to, again, Alvaro and Neutronia, their first times, I don't know if it's, well, the newest people that just added to the Discord server. So happy that you guys joined us, and I hope you guys join us for the next one. So everybody say bye. I'm gonna head on out now. Take care, YouTube
Bye-bye.
chat. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week, okay? Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.